Peace.
Peace. There he goes. There he is. He all wise. He all knowing. What they all been DMing me for. He has surfaced.
What's good, God?
We got the great Temu El in the building, y'all. We in the building.
Right. All right.
Yes, sir. So how's everything going, brother? We good to see you, man. You looking good? How's everything?
Man, everything is lovely, man. You know, just building and working, you know.
Facts, man. Facts. You know what? Before we even get started, man, I want to thank everybody back to iGod TV. We're going to get real deep today. We're going to go into it real deep, man. But before we touch into anything, man, I just wanted to say, what would you have to say to the brothers out here, man, that's, you know, following this path of knowledge and wisdom and understanding, man? And, you know, it seems like a lot of us that poor righteous teacher, or that, you know, it seems like a lot of us go through that in this journey, man, of the trial and error and the ups and downs. You know, things get stripped away from us, we rebuild, like constantly having to rebuild, man. What would you say to the brothers that's coming up now and they just experiencing the things we experienced on this journey?
Well, I don't like to use the term, and not to circumcise your wisdom, God, but you know, I don't like to use the terminology poor righteous teacher. I like to use pro-righteous teacher.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
You know.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing poor about the chosen ones of the Most High. Those of us that decide to take this path, that is the path less traveled, you know, there's nothing poor about us. Like it says in the scripture, you know, you can't be faint of heart to walk this path.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
On the street level, you just can't be a bitch or a snitch.
That's right.
Just keeping it 100.
And you got to just, you know, you got to believe in your truth, man, and stick to it. You know what I mean? I see a lot of brothers on the journey, they don't stick to the plan. You know what I mean? They give up too soon. You know, sometimes we give up right at the peak of the cusp of what we about to jump off, you know?
You know, it's funny you said that, because that was a message that came through early in the like just as the sun was coming up. One of the messages that I got was stick to your guns, because you just at the break of dawn, you know.
Yeah.
And so, like we was told, this is only built for Cuban links. This shit don't happen overnight.
That's right.
You know, it don't happen overnight, and you might take a lot of L's in the process of it. But, you know, when you look at it, like, people like to compare themselves anthropomorphically to the lion, right?
Right.
You know how many times the lion lose or miss or don't catch his prey?
Oh, that's deep. That's deep.
Straight up.
Yeah.
You know how much small game a lion got to catch before he catch the big one?
Right.
And you know how in sync the whole pride got to be, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true,
Straight
man.
up. Like the strategy is it has to be there 1,001%. And a lot of times that's what we lack, is the organization and the strategy.
That's right. That's right. We do, you know, man. That's the only thing's missing most of the time. You know,
like right now, we got all this social media, right? We got all these different platforms of social media.
Yeah.
Ain't no reason at all why we ain't more organized. The reason why right now we are not as organized as we should be, that our movement is not as developed as it could be, is because we still caught up partying and bullshitting. We still chasing We still chasing tags, bags, and labels.
Right.
Ice Cube said it long time ago. Us will always catch the blues because all we care about is hairstyles and tennis shoes.
Yeah, that's right, man. We need to definitely switch up our values, man, and not worry about who got the newest car out and who got this, you know, and who got that. Brothers risking their lives every day to achieve shit that's meaningless, you know.
Man, look, we literally in a day of space age pimping.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people don't recognize that, bro. Like they don't really see that. People don't realize that you walking around with the same kind of technology that the Anunnaki was using.
Right.
They
Right.
had cell phones and laptops and all of that.
Right.
And this is new to you. This is new technology, you know.
Right. Right. Exactly.
But
Exactly. None of this shit is none of this shit's been invented.
yeah, you know, this the new WAP. We was doing it like this. And now they're doing it like this nowadays.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? It's the
Mhm.
same wave, it's the same, but it's how you flavor or season. And
Right.
what they don't understand is it's the same dish. Either way, how you serve it.
That's right, man. Same
It's
cycle,
still
man.
and so we not getting wise. We still playing checkers on the chessboard.
Mm-hmm.
We still talking about king me, king me, king me.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right, man. You know,
You
and
know,
the industry, they just throwing money at these young brothers, man.
man, listen.
I've never seen rappers make this much money in my life, man. All
But
right.
look, yeah. But check this out though. Here's the thing. They throwing them, you know, that advance is a mug. You know what I'm saying? When you don't know
Right.
what to do with that advance and you ain't paying them taxes,
Right.
how about you ain't established the trust?
Right. But you
Let's
got
just
the
start. Let's
Ferrari
let's
though.
let's start right there. Let's start since you walking around with all these tender notes that say in God we trust. Where's your trust?
Right. That's
And
right. That's
see,
right.
these are the things that are prevalent right now. I mean, you know, it's a lot of information about trust and why trust law is the most prominent thing to look into right now because you know it pervades the law of the land. It actually
It does.
supersedes,
You're right.
you
It
know,
does.
the law of the land. So,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah, it does, man. And you know, we noticed that not just in the music industry, we see it happen to a lot of athletes. You know, they
well,
get all this
look,
money, have no money management. They have no, they have no strategy with what they're gonna
you,
do with this money. You know, shout out to Shaquille O'Neal, man. He was one of the smart ones. You know,
hey,
Shaq really knew what to do with his money, man. But
but
he had a good guidance.
but Shaq is a traveling man.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what
he
I'm
knew the game.
saying?
He knew he saw outside the neighborhood.
So he know how to move from east to west. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. And it's like, I don't know. These brothers really need to really educate themselves, man, because the money just ain't for spending, man. And when it is for spending, you got to be spending it to do other things for you when you can, you know?
Well, here's one of the biggest things that we got to come to comprehend, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, first of all, in order for you to really start obtaining wealth, your status got to be correct. Most people still under the status of Black, African American, you know,
Right.
uh those things, those are fictitious, those are fictitious personas, you know,
Okay.
and it's time for us to smarten up.
Now, so with that being said, man, what do you think about the rapper who wants to still keep his roots in the community, you know, just to find out later on the day that we've been just seeing with rest in peace, Young Dolph. You know, he was a great entrepreneur, a great artist. What do you feel about these artists being killed in their own neighborhoods?
I think it's, see, let's talk about the fact that why this is happening. Everybody want to be in the streets, or be in the streets until the streets take you. MC8 told us the hood will take you under. Right. So there's a way that we can do this without having to be involved with criminal activity.
Yeah, can you take both feet out, you know, onto the other side, man? You know, a lot of these rappers playing both sides of the fence.
Here's the thing. The thing is that's the thing, is that, look, you know, to me, what's blasphemy right now is that what was something that was supposed to be so sacred, to be an avenue of expression, to be a literal culture for our people. Now, you know, if this was cheddar cheese, if this was good old sharp cheddar cheese, that, you know, that stinking cheese, that old government cheese they used to have back in the day.
Right.
You know, this would be Velveeta compared to that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Right.
That's where we're at right now. This is, you know, it's some old homogenized, processed, you know, it's mostly syrup and I mean, it's mostly oil and water.
Right. No, you're right about that, man. You know, and that seems like those the only people they giving the bags to.
No, the people they're giving the bags to are people that, see, you got to realize that the entertainment business is a family affair.
What you mean? Break that down for us.
If you're not part of the family, if you're not blood connected, relative, or related, in some way, affiliated, you don't get in.
Right.
Period. I listen. I didn't end up with the Erykah Badu and Childish Gambino situation by coincidence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Artists just don't take your art and run off with it for no reason.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, there's a connection between you and everything that you see. There is a pattern, a marker, okay? Spiritually, on every action that you take, on everything that you create, that's unique to you. And if somebody else borrows that and synthesize that, tries to trademark and pattern that, you know, flat out, you know, barbarism.
Right. That's true.
The entertainment industry is full of pirates. Okay.
Yeah.
They sit around, they go to little speakeasies, and, you know, they look for the poets and the singers and the musicians that are coming up with something new and fresh, and they steal that shit and they walk off, and then they create something out of it. And, you know, this is the way of the business. This is the way of the industry.
That's right, man. We've seen it through the history and through history, you know, with Elvis and so, you know, a lot of people.
And so when you have a mentality like that, when it's literally a bottom of the barrel, dog eat dog, like literally, it's a shark, it's a shark and piranha, sea.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? So who's gonna win, the sharks or the piranha?
Yeah, you pretty much have to evolve yourself into that mentality if you want to survive in that game.
And that's the thing. It is that you know, you literally have to come to a point where it's like the dope game. You have to be heartless.
Right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You have
Yeah.
to, because at the end of the day, guess what? We do know about the entertainment business.
What's that?
It's a brother and a sisterhood.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Right.
that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they care about. At the end of the day,
Right.
this
Right.
is what they care about. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm showing you exactly, because when you see images of the Pope like this,
Yeah.
praying, supposed to be praying, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Listen, we cannot be blind. We're supposed to be wise as serpents.
That's right. Very true. Very true. And
You know,
that, you know, speaking of that, man, that brings us to the point in the topic of today. Today, we just wanted to break down a couple of things, man. We had a few questions that I had to bring you in on, man, and so we can try to get to the bottom of it, man. It's like the consciousness and matter, you know, it's like, was the consciousness always here on the supreme level to create when the matter was created, or did the matter itself gain this consciousness and is still evolving it and fine-tuning it to this day?
so that's basically like what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, because a lot of people say that, and I don't know if consciousness is the right word, we, so to speak, just coherent, you know, knowing that you exist, functioning, you know, consciousness, man. You know what I mean? And a lot of people say we gained that over time. We had to learn what fire was. We had to learn these elements. We had to learn what fish to eat and certain things not to do, you know. But then you read some stories where some people say there were beings on this planet in the beginning that were instilled with this knowledge from the beginning. Now, did they come from another planet? Who knows? We'll try to get to that later on too. But what are your thoughts first off on consciousness itself and matter or reality or beings obtaining
Well,
or having?
when you read the passages of the coming forth by day and by night, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the very beginning of the recensions of the coming forth by day and by night, they tell you that there was a void, right?
Right.
Same thing that it says in the Hebrew teachings, it says in the Bhagavad Gita, it says in the Bible, it says in Babylonian, and we can go on and on and on. They talk about this void, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that void was the template for all things. And notice I use the word all, okay?
Yeah.
Because whether it's consciousness or matter, it all exists within the all.
Mm.
One does not experience reality or life without the other.
Mm.
For consciousness to be, it must materialize into a form, into a energy pattern of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they tell you the metaphysical, mathematical projection of, first you had the black dot, and then the black dot became a line, and then the line became an angle, and then that angle became a wall, and it turned within itself 3 times and became a square, and then spun itself so that it became a circle.
Mm.
You see?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then actually what you're looking at when you see, there's also the golden mean, right? The
Right.
symbol of the golden mean, which is a spiral,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
It's a spiral. And so from a black dot, life began to unwind. Now, look at the DNA and RNA.
Right.
How was that designed? The same way. Jacob's ladder, to make it, you what the goal is to turn that spiral stairway, that spiral staircase, into a ladder, into a straight path, a straight and narrow path. You see, and the only way you do that is by knowing the natural frequencies that allow you to straighten up.
Right. Now, when you're saying this, man, it's kind of making me think like, and maybe in comedic terms, would these be any of the attributes of Ptah? Where does Ptah come into this consciousness and the speaking and existence and matter and all this?
Well, Ptah is the creator, is the generator, right? So when you look at Ptah, what do you see? On his head is a crown.
Yeah. Right.
Like a helmet.
Yeah. Right.
And so there's a protection over the crown because we know that the head is symbolic for the kingdom.
Yes, let's go. Yes.
Of the Most High.
Right.
And the eyes are the gateways of what they call, the pearly gates. Right. The golden gates.
Right.
Because your brow, are the bridge, right? The ridge, bridge to the first eye, which is the pineal gland. But in truth, we should be doing this to the pineal gland, right? And in the middle of the top of the head, because this is the frontal lobe.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But what in particular about the frontal lobe? Why do they, in Islamic teachings, pray and are told to apply pressure to the frontal lobe to create pressure to make the brain grow, or to force the forehead to come forward? Because when you push down, you get the opposite effect.
Right.
It begins to bulge. That's why every time you get a hard head, you get I know everybody had them experience where you get a knot.
Yeah. Right.
You slam that head against something harder than itself, and that head said, and that's you got to ask yourself, why do all the blood vessels and everything swell up?
Yeah.
It's a natural a reaction to all of the pressure.
Okay. Right.
So when you're talking about Ptah, you're talking about not just the God of creation just because of his name, meaning to come forward or to open the way,
right?
Like Tahuti or Temu or Alegba, the Baron Samedi. Like these are different personages of energy matrices that mean to open a path. Okay,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Penile, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perform, penetrate, all right?
Right.
To move forward, to create an avenue, you know, to
Right.
create a way, to open a way, ogun, to cut
Right.
the forest, you
And do
know.
you feel like is that what consciousness did, or did man pave that way for the consciousness
No,
to
no, no,
grow?
no, man, listen. First of all, you got to remember man means mind.
Right.
See, the one thing about when you understand the all, you know that all is mental and all that is in the all is mind,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So, so as Dr. Malachi Z. York taught us, mind your mind for the jewels of your soul.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay, the
Yeah.
Supreme Grandmaster, 720 degrees. Mind your mind for the jewels of your soul. Okay, when we talk about the prescription of a doctor of understanding who and what we are,
Right.
okay, because there are a lot of people out there using the doctrine that Dr. Malachi Z. York prescribed.
Mm-hmm. True.
Okay?
Very true.
And a lot of people want to hate, but see, this is the problem because we listen to all these other teachers and we accept their flaws, right? Supposedly, because the reason I say that is because, first of all, most people haven't done enough research into the individual to know the truth about what's taking place.
Right. No,
Okay,
you're absolutely
most
right. You're
people,
absolutely right.
most people look at things from a surface place. They don't actually like.
Right. Go by what YouTube told them.
This was hilarious. I'm watching a YouTube about a Hebrew Israelite
Mm-hmm.
who claimed that he had done research on the Dr. Malachi Z. York, um, the court case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And w- listen, do you know how much it costs to get that court case?
No, I
Do you know how
don't.
much it costs? We talking about 20 G's. We talking about a RZA beat. Okay. Look, I didn't mean to do it
Right.
to
You're
you,
just
boy.
not. You're not just getting this information into
Listen,
anybody's hands.
listen. There's a lot of things in that case that are sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right.
because it's Masonic. First of
Right.
all right.
Yeah. Let's
Let's
make
just
that
put
point
it out
clear.
there.
Yeah.
How many people do you know are prosecuted on a federal holiday?
Mm. I can't name any.
Dr. Malachi Z. York was prosecuted on Martin Luther King Day
No way.
in the state of Georgia. Georgia,
Ah. Yeah.
Georgia,
Right.
Georgia.
Wow. Wow. That's deep, man.
Listen, listen. See, it's some tricks that's going on right now. Y'all better be aware. They got y'all all they got y'all all punctured up.
Yep. Yep.
they,
Talk to him.
they got you all punctured up and they feeding miniature transformers into your bloodstream to transform you, to take you offline, to put you online with their server so they can serve you a Big Mac. but it's a but the Big Mac they sending you ain't a more, but it's definitely a clown in a Happy Meal.
Right. No doubt. No doubt,
And you
man.
go
That's facts.
look, and you gonna be the red herring of a wig. Straight
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, man. No, you're right.
You gonna be the red herring of the wig. And I'm saying that, I hope y'all really catching me, because use your mind. Like right now, we supposed to be taking over government.
Yeah. Right.
Right now, we supposed to be getting it. We not supposed to be politicking, polytricking.
That's right.
Fuck the tricks and the polytricks and the politics. Listen.
Yeah, you're right.
You supposed to be a child of the Most High. And if you are the child of the Most High, you must know the law.
Right.
Period, point blank.
That's right.
Is it not written in your scripture? Is it not written in your scripture that I said that ye are gods and children of the Most High?
That's right.
One of the most famous quotes people say all the time, most famous quotes people say all the time, my people perish from a lack of knowledge, but they don't finish the quote. Mm-hmm. The scripture says my people perish from a lack of knowledge of the law.
Right.
And we supposed to be Islam. I, self, Lord, am master. That's right. What Islam is.
That's right. That's right. But what do you say to those certain people who say, that when they say ye are gods, meaning we're God's property, meaning we belong to him? Some people translate it in that level.
Guess what? We are all in the all. All right. Every single where
client and president. I'm the player, president, and the client,
right? See, this is the thing. In this day and time, people have become so much lovers of themselves that they really don't love themselves. They love their ego.
That's right. They love what they're projecting, what they think they're projecting out here to people.
Look.
And what do you think? Okay, so what do you think is consciousness being gained by us, would you say? Or would you say, wait, how do I want to put this?
We're not learning anything, brother.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying right here.
Consciousness is streams of wave bands of thought form and pattern. All right.
Right.
There's patterns, and no different than your radio station or your Wi-Fi. If you're able to tune into them channels, you can communicate on those frequencies.
Right.
Then you can delve into those realities. Right? That's like this. We fucking around with 5G. China, over there, they got 10 and 11G. Woo. They go into ballparks and they watching literal holograms, of dragons blowing fire down on them.
Wow.
In the middle of the baseball field or the soccer field. You know what I'm saying? In the stadium.
Right.
They watching a whole feature, a feature film as it's happening right now, like Neo Geo back in the day. Like what they showed you on Star Wars.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I've been saying, look, I've been saying this since 2002. We in Star Wars, player. Like, y'all,
that's
y'all
right.
gotta wake the fuck up real fast. Like, y'all don't even understand the movie They Live with John Carpenter. Listen, I was in the eighth grade when that movie dropped.
Yeah. And
when that movie dropped, it was crazy. I'm supposed to be listen, listen. I'm supposed to be dealing with some female, and the movie come on like we doing,
Yeah, right, right.
it's eighth
Setting the
grade.
vibe. You setting the vibe.
We experimenting, right?
Yeah, yeah, right.
And my attention turned to the movie just for a second because I noticed it was Roddy Piper.
My guy.
And then when I seen David Keith, and I was like, hold up. You know what I'm saying? I just waited for the moment to cool down. And I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, damn, this shit is real. This is real as hell. Like,
that's right.
Like it is like this. Like for real. Like what they were saying, consume, reproduce, sleep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Look, my here go my wake up and be a better slave today than you were yesterday.
Yeah. Seriously, man. Seriously, I had a discussion with somebody about that before. About they was asking me, what the Matrix was, and did I believe that we lived in one and everything, And I told them, basically like, hey, do you have a job? They're like, yeah. What do you work? Oh, I work 5 12s. There's a matrix for you right there. Every single day,
right. Exactly.
On the process, and you're gonna do this for 30 years.
And then look at that number, 5 12s, right?
Yeah.
5 1 2, which is 8. Like you said, you're gonna do it forever because it's infinite.
Yeah, exactly. You're stuck in it. Exactly.
So, yeah. That's another thing too, though. The gematria, the gematria. All right. So when you see these different, by now everybody needs to realize that since the very first creation of a television, you have been watching reality TV, whether it is pre-programmed or on location live. You understand what I'm saying? We have been watching the propaganda. We have been and so if you know how to use your mind and sift through the all of the propaganda, all of the different symbols and imagery that they send to you, and because like I didn't got to the point where I when I watch a movie and my brain, I slow that motherfucker down. I slow them frames down to where I'm almost seeing them frame for frame.
Yeah.
Straight up. No doubt. Because I be looking for the whoopsie in the middle.
Yeah. Shout out, I just saw that movie Doom that came out recently, man. That was phenomenal. Okay, so Dune is an old messianic story that they've been, they've been redoing Dune. They didn't do this the third time they redone Dune, as far as I know. Third or fourth. It could be the fourth time. This was definitely the best graphics, the best CGI of them all. Well,
listen, first of all, you got to understand that these people that's telling these stories, they telling our story.
Facts.
Okay. They just gotta make it look like them.
You're right.
That's it.
Right. And you know what? Speaking of movies, before we move on, man, when we were just talking about the TV and stuff, which Batman was that with your boy Jim Carrey?
Batman, that was
Forever or Returns or one of them.
Batman Forever.
But he had made the joint. Was it Stanley Ipkiss? Stanley
Ipkiss, and he made the satellite connection, basically what we looking at right now as far as our connection linked up to one central satellite system, that's feeding us. Look at that. It's because it's a feed, right?
Yes, it is. It's a feed.
Whether it's live or pre-recorded.
Right. And
All
you
right. Now
notice, like
listen.
you said about the frontal lobe, the joint, the beam was going right to the frontal lobe when they were sitting in front of the TV.
And they was doing.
Yeah.
Getting dumber.
Yo, they was getting geeked off, but like they was getting like high.
Hey, yeah, but at the same time, it was sucking everything out of their pineal gland.
Yeah, I mean, when the Riddler and your boy Tommy Lee Jones, when they was receiving it on the receiving end.
Yeah.
You know,
it was like the angiochrome.
Yeah.
Adrenochrome. It was like the adrenochrome.
Oh, big word. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, but let's be honest. You know, right now, this whole thing, the reason why they got all this stuff shut down is because they are feeding off of the fear factor. Think about it. Right. Think about when they dropped that show, Fear Factor. Think about that. Think about how big it was.
It was huge, man. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now that's what they're using as the main
tactic, really.
That's the main factor of the equation in our everyday life. Like, sure I hate to go back to it again, but Michael Jackson, man, bro, you listen. He said, "You try to scream, but terror strikes the sound before you make it."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Listen, man. He also said that he said you close your eyes. No. He said the part about when he say you think it's just your imagination, but the alien is sneaking up behind, you're out of time. It's creeping up behind, you're out of time.
Right.
The alien.
Yeah.
And then he was wearing the mask way back in the day. You know, I mean,
yeah, he sure was.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you, like, we look at a lot of these things that these so-called stars do. We forget that they Masons. We forget that they part of a Boys and Girls Club. All right.
That's right, we do. You're right.
Shout out to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
Right.
You know, and all they secret handshakes, and you know, all of the vows and whatever it is that they do to hide from the rest of the world, to so-called run the world. But here's the truth of the matter. When you step out of the physical realm, the truth of the Most High is always there.
Right. That's right.
And if you tap into your psychic sense and you raise your intuitive expense, you'll pay your 360 so you can know what's beyond the physical.
That's big. That's big. For real.
Straight up.
So what do you think, man? So what do you think? I gotta ask you a question, man. So are we learning or are we remembering? How is this consciousness?
It's all memory. It's all, think about it. Like, so all of this shit is
meaning that we live, because a lot of people are going to ask me this, so I want to say it. I don't want to cut you off. I just want to say it. Meaning that we physically lived before, or that us as a spirit or a being or galactically, we are forever. So when you say, you know, if we're remembering, what are we remembering? And is it because we were there before, or is it because we made like some promise that once we existed, we would follow this, like you said, law?
All right.
I know that's loaded, but you know.
No, it ain't. It's really because the answer is like this. I'm gonna send you the answer this way. See, because you got to teach people in degrees by the level that they are, right?
That's right.
All right. So I'm going to use something that most people deal with. You have deja vu, what they call a time continuum. People call them deja vu, right?
Right.
And that's the experience that you have a memory of before you even experienced it, right?
Exactly.
And that the result of that deja vu can come in many forms. It can come from being in meditation and seeing it before it happened, or being in a dream, being asleep and seeing it before it happened,
Right.
or it coming to you as a premonition, right?
Right.
Now, if you've seen it before it happened and it happens, is that time travel? Is that you moving ahead of yourself in retrograde motion, as they would call it?
That's a
Did you just
very good question.
did you just move through? Did you move? Did you slipstream through a vortex so many degrees ahead of yourself and then come back to report?
See, and I think that's the topic of, that's what I really meant to say in the very beginning of this, was about consciousness or matter. It's like, okay, did somebody teach us this? Or did we come here with the abilities? Because everybody wants to talk aliens, everybody wants to talk gods and spirits and serpents and devils, but we all really just want to know, did someone teach us how to function on this planet and in this universe? Or were we born with the consciousness to do all this fire? You know, did we have to get burned by fire first to know what it was? Did we have to drown in the ocean to realize that you had to swim? I mean, these aren't the questions, I mean, specifically for me, brother, but people who are just diving in, supposedly, we want them to get it and know what we're talking about.
The question is, was I a god first? Or was I a monkey that needed to be put to the test so that I could become something greater than myself?
Exactly.
All right.
Consciousness or matter.
So peep it out.
I love this. This is gonna be great. This is amazing.
What if I told you it was both simultaneously?
Really?
See, we forget we're in a multi-dimensional reality.
Okay, break that down. Now we know about the mental plane of,
No. We're gonna take this back to simple mathematics.
Okay.
You started with a cipher, and the cipher is a template, because the cipher can be a square, right? A sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
A grid.
That's right.
Or the cipher can be a cell. Either way it go.
Right.
The circle stands inside of a square.
Right.
Right? A column in a box. So we're always going to be talking about an active and a passive principle of reality. No matter what level you get to, no matter how finite or how small you try to make it, there is always going to be an active and a passive principle. Which means no matter what, there's always going to be a masculine and a feminine happening.
So the consciousness and matter was a simultaneous thing.
Look, when you look at a blazar, look in the solar system, look into the stars, and you'll see that the most powerful thing in the cosmos is not a black hole, it's a blazar. It is both a black hole and a and it is a black hole that is emitting, or actually actively, it's like a fallopian tube.
Mm.
It is actively creating suns, shooting suns out. That's what a blazar does. Those are suns coming out of a black hole, being emitted, like I said, like
Mm.
fallopian tubes in the womb.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there is a point of the blazar where there's absolute silence. There's no movement, no motion, no nothing, nothing, literal nothingness, absolute nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the outer perimeter of it is the same thing. Now, a blazar in itself is a whole functioning ecosystem in the cosmos.
Mm.
You have that within your cell, happening in your cell nucleus. You understand? So the answer to that question, when you asking about consciousness or matter, your consciousness matters.
Yeah.
Your consciousness creates matter, because consciousness creates the vibratory patterns that create material formulation.
Right.
Okay. You know that because when you do what? When we deal with sound, okay,
Mm-hmm.
sound is an aspect of light, sonar, sonic, soul, sonic force.
Right. No doubt.
Let's use the hip hop for what it is.
Uh-huh. Very true.
Let's teach the science. Let's if we say that we God body MC squares, whether you are the 90 degree or you the spiral. Because a spiral, the spiral is actually, or the coil is what we think is the circle.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because how does sound move? It moves in a wave, right?
Right.
The wave. But it actually spirals.
Mm.
Okay. The illusion of the wave, or the illusion of the spiral, is the wave.
Yeah. So when the serpent tempted or deceived Eve to get to Adam, what are we talking about here?
We're talking about DNA, RNA, and we're talking about the first impulse. Just like when you talk about Lucifer, you're talking about the first impulse of creation.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm horny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. I'm with you.
When
I'm with
when
you. I know
when
the listeners are with you.
when it's the, and this is just being, this is being real. I mean, I'm not, this is not perversion at all.
No, not
But
at all. Not at
when
all.
you the
Yeah.
when they show you that children masturbate inside the womb, straight up. So we always know what sex is. We always know what the masculine feminine balance is. Okay.
Yeah.
It's, did the chemicals properly, did they properly gestate? Did Ptah craft you perfectly?
Right. Right.
Before Khnum placed you on the potter's wheel and gave you a physical form.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because what is in the spirit, okay,
Right.
will be in the heart. What is in the heart will be in the mind. And at times, the mind and the heart battle one another.
That's right.
Okay. That's what you call the will and the ego, or the will and the intellect, right?
Right.
And when you're able to align them together properly, where they're cohesive, oh, then you have the ability to take and use your intuition for higher higher forces, or to tune your frequency of intuition to the higher forces, I should say, so that you can then operate beyond just the material mundane.
Woo, I hope you're listening, people. I hope
Your
you're
eyes, your eyes, you no longer just see from the natural visual spectrum. Your eyesight starts way beyond the peripheral.
right.
Okay. And to truly activate the all-seeing eye means that you got to have eyes in the back of your head. You got to be like, you really, what it is you're learning to develop is that sonar technique, which is what I call a panoramic view.
Right. Right.
The panoramic view is the ability to use your whole being and see everything
Yeah.
around you, just like what the ninja did, like the samurai did. You know, like
That's
what
right.
they show you on the Jedi with Star Wars.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing. We in a day and time where is, in a lot of ways, there's no excuses, because
Exactly.
you got computers at the tips of your fingers. You can ask Google any fucking question you want to ask. You can
Right.
type you can type in, you can literally ask metaphysical questions and get answers, or exoteric questions and get answers.
Yeah. Shit, we had to buy 1,000 books to read and read them all.
Ooh,
They
boy.
don't know about libraries. They have no idea about libraries and
They
bookshelves.
don't know about the Dewey Decimal System. Okay.
Man, dude, going to
Look,
Borders and Barnes and
or
Nobles and all that.
how about when you going through and you look something up and it says it's in print and it's out of print.
Yeah, exactly, man. Dude, I'm like a kid in a candy store now on Amazon, and I'm like, oh, man, wait, you mean I can get that?
But listen, this is the thing I love about now. Right about now. Y'all, we got the best of both worlds. Because if you know what you're doing, you can use this fucking technology to expand your satellite. Straight up. Stop being used. Stop being so scared of the technology. Listen.
Right. That's a good point. You know what? That's a good point. That's a good point, man. Because a lot of people are so-called conscious. You know what I mean? They don't. They refuse to dive in this far with it. You know what I mean? This part of it is not necessarily evil, but a part, going into the matrix. You know what I mean? So in some sense.
So check this out. When they found the goddess, the Mona Lisa, when they found her on the moon, inside of her craft, inside of the Isis Needle, her and her fleet of other, Asiatic or Nubian looking sisters, because they had a combination of locks and braids in their hair. Okay. Beautiful, gorgeous, Asiatic, they look like the goddesses of Hathor. That's what they look like. They had faces like Hathor statues,
Yeah.
Big eyes, big round faces, full lips. Imagine, take Tiana Taylor's face and stretch it.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Like give it fullness, make that mug round. Like when you talking, they look almost like the images on Angkor Wat.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those goddesses that was up there on that craft. And the thing that they took off those women was they took off the technology that was attached to their skin, okay, which they had a form of computer hardware that was in a form of like it was almost like skin, but it had uh extensive and very sophisticated um communication engine, as far as the wiring and
Yeah.
the way that the what do you call them? They got them now where they put them on the skin. They use them now and this is where they got the technology from, where they put the they put the a layer of a thin layer of plastic on the skin, and it acts as a computer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And so this is what they found in that particular Apollo 13 moon, landing
Yeah.
when they went up there on that mission,
Yeah.
for that particular mission.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny about that is that every time they get more and more, they have more and more contact with our futuristic ancient ancestors.
Yeah.
More and more technology comes out.
Right.
Okay. Now, this biotech that they have, mind you, now, I just want you to realize now, the audience got to realize now that that technology that they bring into us is at least 30 years old at this point. So they had the ability to like put a the puncture,
Yeah.
that right there, that technology is way back since 1930. Okay.
Yeah. Listen up, people.
1930.
Yeah. Wow.
And cloning began around all the. See, listen, they talk about the Roswell incident, but there was another incident that had taken place 10 years before that in
Really?
New Mexico. Oh yeah, where there was see, listen, there was like four different crashes that they was playing with the tech. Listen, if people knew that World War II was a cover up for the extraterrestrial involvement with planet Earth, if they really understood that World War II was a cover up for the contracting of planet Earth to extraterrestrial to different extraterrestrial civilizations, if they really understood that they asses have already been sold.
Wow. Hope you listening up now. I hope you listening in. We brought it back. We anticipated. Okay? He is here. Okay?
Listen,
and we giving it to you tonight. All right.
What we think is just planetary slavery. What we've been taught to believe is planetary slavery is not. Is galactic slavery. Is cosmic slavery. Listen, the Draconians have been enslaving people. You read fucking comic books.
Yes, I love them. Yes, I'm right there
Okay.
with you. Yeah.
Why do you think Stan Lee came up with Galacticus?
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
Why do you think? Why do you think that DC came up with Dark Seed and the likes? All these different. Listen, bro.
Like, why does Avengers shit with Thanos and everything come back all of a sudden?
Exact and all in the rings of power.
Exactly.
Look. Hold up. That's twice you've been given that information about rings of power, because no, actually it's 3 times.
Lord of the Rings.
You got the Lord of the Rings, right?
Yes, some of my favorite shows. That's one of my favorites.
Hold up. Let's say it's 4 times because you got the Lord of the Rings, you got Harry Potter,
right?
How about the Olympics?
Oh man, yeah. I ain't think of that one. Yeah. What is this thing about the rings, man? What is it, man?
And then, of course, you know, everybody wants to be Jordan, right? Who got as many rings as Jordan? There's players who have more rings than Jordan, and nobody's talking about them.
Yeah, that's true. Shout out to Bill Russell.
That's another player too.
That's tough. That's tough, man. Who's up there, man, with the champion? This must be like a coach or something, man.
No, he ain't a coach. He is the most clutch player in the NBA. He has dropped more 3-pointers in clutch and one.
Ray Allen?
No.
Threes.
I'll give you the initials, RH.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry about that, bro. Shout out to Robert Horry, man. My bad, man. But you know what? Everybody leaves Horry out of it, you know. And I saw Shaq actually the other day. Shaq was on the show and he was talking about, Robert Horry is the man. We wouldn't have did it without Rob, you know. And he don't get his shine. But you're right, Robert Horry, man. Nah, you're right. You don't even hear about him.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you know what's really funny too? Since we're talking about sports and basketball right now, especially basketball, why is it right now that they seem to be pitting, you know, they want to pit Scottie Pippen against Jordan? Like that's it's almost like the Batman and Robin relationship.
I know, man. I don't understand what been going on with Scottie Pippen right now. Shout out to him. He one of my favorite players, man. I seen that, man. Just right after that Jordan series came out, you saw that, right?
Yeah.
You saw the series?
Yeah.
I thought they gave Scottie Pippen props, man. He came on, he did like 3 episodes where he sat there, talked about what happened, played hurt, didn't change his contract because he needed the money so bad when niggas told him not to, you know what I mean? He knew what pressure he was under, and all that. I thought it was a good projection, man. But then later on, they made him look all twisted and foul. And then I seen a whole bunch of stuff to where there was a rapper dating his wife and they had got into some stuff. It was like, what's going on with this? Like, who'd he disappoint? Who'd he piss off, man?
Well, see, here's the thing, you got to know who's in your circle, man. And that's another thing about being in that business. Like, it's a lot of barracudas, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of barracudas looking for whales.
Sure is.
In that industry, it's a lot like the truck stop. It's like the truck stop superstars, you know what I mean?
No, you're right, man. You're right. Like, what? They shit on Charles Barkley, man, because he didn't get no rings and none of that shit, man. But you wouldn't have wanted to be on the court with him back in the day on the other side if he was in his prime.
Hey, man, listen, Charles. Listen. A lot of these guys nowadays, it's kind of just like even like the new school, like how rap is transformed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything is like touch and finesse. Like there's no more there's no more nigga. Come here, I can beat you up. Like there's no more of that. Like there's even in football, like
you can't tackle the quarterback hard.
Oh my God. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Every hit is a penalty.
Yo, football.
I know.
Football, listen, I've been on both sides of it, okay?
Yeah, facts.
Football, listen, Hey, look, these little boys, like, I never forget, man. Shout out to Robert Backus. Shout out to Robert Backus. Listen, this is Pee Wee League. This is 105s. He was the quarterback, right? He played
Okay.
quarterback and he
Yeah.
played corner. He played corner. And I played corner on the other side, but I also played line. Okay. I played guard. So this is our first year, 105, and we doing Bull in the Ring, Coach James Carter.
That's one of my favorites right there, Bull in the Ring. Yeah.
Northside Knights.
Woo!
Robert Backus is was probably about a whole foot taller than me. I'll never forget this. So we had to go heads up, Bull in the Ring. We go around. The coach made us do one pass, a whole one pass. I was like, damn, like for real, this nigga's about to look, he about to speed up. He about to speed up, and my helmet about to be in my shoulder. Because I already seen what this dude then did to other cats, right?
Yeah, right.
We come on, heads up, shoulder, coach passed the ball. Then he tossed the ball. He tossed the ball to me. Ooh. So Robert, he got to tackle me. He taller than me, so I get low. Bah! All of a sudden, I hear.
Right.
Y'all already know what that is. I saw stars.
Yeah.
But I knew I had what it took because I didn't cough up the ball. Okay.
Exactly. That's all that matters. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Don't you drop that football, man. Seriously.
Look, I seen dudes go head up with him and cough the ball go flying. All right.
Yeah, all day long.
Straight up. So, but I'm saying that to say, when you are an athlete in the game of football or basketball, back then, man, listen, like our coach used to tell us to wear our high school coach used to tell us to wear hand mitts, the hand pads, so that we could come up off the ball and use them as weapons. Okay. And as we come up off the ball, as soon as we come up and we hit the opponent, we come up with two fists. Boom.
Right.
All right. So you getting your ass whipped all game.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You getting punched in the stomach, the ribs, the chest, the sternum, up under the underarm. Man, listen.
Especially if you got the ball and you get tackled once you on the ground. Oh, it's all bad.
Man, listen. Oh no, it's all bad. You on the bottom of a pile. Look, you can get jabbed in the eye, fingers, arms stepped on.
Yeah, ankles stepped on, all that. Yeah.
Ankles twisted. Fuck stepped on. Twisted. Okay. Leg bent the other direction.
Yeah, right.
It gets dirty down in the bottom of a pile.
Yeah,
that's right. You don't see that no more.
You don't, because you see flags. All you see more or less now is flags.
Yeah. Niggas used to get fucked up at the bottom of a pile.
Yeah, right, man. Everything is the finesse. Everything is the finesse, watered down.
But see, nowadays.
But think about this. Answer this for me real quick, man. Is this, I ain't gonna say our fault. I'm gonna say it like this. Is this just where the universe is evolving to? Is this the frequency that this generation is receiving to take us somewhere else? Or do they really have the frequency misconstrued? Exactly.
Man, look, it's like this. As you move faster, right? The light seems shorter. Okay, it goes past. You know how that go. You move. You didn't been downhill
All day.
on a bike fast or a moped or been in a car moving fast as hell, and you know them lights when they come. But you be seeing that long stream of energy, right?
Yeah.
Until you get to that next light, and then you see the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, right?
Right.
After a certain point, when you're going so fast, and what it is right now is that we speeding up so fast. It's just like when you playing piano. You way up here now.
Right.
You started off way down here real slow. You know? And that's really what's going on.
Exactly.
We're moving from just a third dimensional reality into a higher dispensation of reality, a multidimensional experience. And this is the thing. The multidimensional experience has always fucking been here. We're the ones waking up to it. It's always been here. We're the ones waking up to it.
I see that.
Okay, that's the reason why there's more signs and symbols and this, that, and the third, because we're becoming more aware, because our atomic structure is speeding up. So we're speeding up. The earth is speeding up. So we're speeding up. The dimension is moving faster. So we got to move faster.
Right.
Life in the fast lane. Life in the fast lane. You know.
You're right. So we're not necessarily saying it's condoned or whatever. What we're trying to just say is it's like there's an evolution going on with all this. It ain't just Black people or just a certain, you know what I mean?
Oh no.
That everything on the journey.
One of the things and this is you know, yes, we have dealt with a certain level of being interfered with as far as our progression is concerned on this planet, right? But we have to realize that we are in a process of creation, right? We are a byproduct of a byproduct of a byproduct. And there are going to be byproducts of our byproduct, just like this computer, and how this computer is about to become AI, how the AI, the artificial intelligence, how we're walking around, talking on cell phones, using tablets, using Apple Watches, and all the shit that we think is just so cute and unique. We're teaching the computer how to become human.
Yep.
We're giving the computer consciousness. Why? Because our plasma is crystalline and it's teaching the crystals inside of the computer. This is the reason why I say you can use your consciousness to filter shit through the technology if you know what you're doing.
Is this why they really paying people for the plasma?
Bruh, it's always been about the plasma.
No doubt. That's wild, man. Nah, that's wild. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Man. So what do you think, man? I mean,
without the plasma, you can't play in the simulation. Plasma.
Facts.
Play
so what do you think, man? If we're looking at it now, man, so consciousness is definitely a major role and a major piece to everything, you know what I mean? And I guess you can't necessarily break it down to it being by itself without, you know, so to speak, its creation. So are we saying that we're the creation of consciousness? We're the effects of it, so to speak, or the effect.
Live and effect. We need effects.
Word.
DOS effects.
Word.
Right?
Right.
Or is it DAS? Is it DOS effects or DOS? DOS effects.
Word.
Because is it the organic creation, or is it the digital simulation?
Word.
But it's always been both.
It's the combination.
Because we know, listen, man, our DNA and RNA has been fucking cut, spliced, and like we used to do old tapes.
Word.
You want to fix them and they didn't popped.
Word. You know what? I want you to touch on
like.
something. I want you to touch on something real quick, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but while the question hit my mind, because I wanted to ask you this say something about this earlier. Now, there's a lot of people I've been seeing online, you know, different people in their communities, you know. They want to make it, we all understand about separate bloodline and type blood types and other things and things like that. But what, if we're talking about DNA and RNA, what actually would separate me and you from somebody, so to speak, 300,000 years ago? If you're looking at how things are done, like you said, coming out of a womb, everybody has to be born. So if you look at it like that, it's literally
it's
DNA.
not many proteins. Is to basically broke it down to not go into a whole bunch of, you know, shit that most people don't know.
Yeah.
It's basically a couple proteins, because it literally takes millions of years for DNA and RNA to change. That's the reason why you can look like your grandfather's father's father's father, father's 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 father, father's 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 father, father's 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 mother.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because I look like my great grandma.
So what are they? So, you know, to all those people that's doing the, you know, the ancestry.coms and the things, nothing against it, but do you think that when they find this, are they finding more in your DNA than what they're telling you?
They ain't finding shit.
Oh man.
The reason I say that is because all DNA has similar markers. Okay. All right. You can find similar markers to people with anywhere in the world. You can find people with similar markers of DNA. Okay. Right. The only way you're going to really know is you got to follow your bloodline. You got to follow the parental and maternal bloodlines.
That's right.
Which means that those people have to be living, or you can exhume their bodies from out the ground.
Right.
Unless you can find relatives, you know, distant cousins and stuff like that. But aside from that, that's the only way you're going to actually trace your DNA properly back to where you supposedly from, because all DNA have similar markers no matter where you live. That's just the way that our genetics work.
Oh, okay.
That's why when they do these DNA tests, listen, I've seen it. I've seen families where there are 3 people in a family, and they all send their test out to ancestry.com or one of the other ones, and they come back with different results. And that's impossible.
Yeah, it should be impossible.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that takes me to the point, man, of, as you see, you know, the picture behind me, man. A lot of people in these so-called, communities, they don't necessarily have the physical evidence to back up a lot of their stories of their existence in ancient times, in the old times, and we all know that throughout Africa they do. The evidence is there, especially in, so to speak, so-called Egypt, right? Now, when we're talking about the DNA, man, it's like, who else would you have on this planet for these people to, get this DNA and this information from? Like, where you don't see anywhere else on the planet where you walk into a museum and there's literally a body, from another culture, on display that's been, it's like, what is it about the ancient African body that to them it has to be on display and constantly studied? Like, they don't dig anywhere else. No one else has been dug up to find anything about
that's actually
blacks.
Well, yeah, but the reason why is because when you dig, the further you dig, that's all you're gonna come up with.
Oh. Okay. I was having a discussion the other day with a brother, and it came to me in the mind, and I said that same thing. The thing about these people is that the deeper they dig, they continue to find the same people, right? So then that makes me think, if you're saying, like you said earlier, the piece to the goddesses that landed on the moon, okay, looked at Nubian, Asiatic, okay?
Yeah.
So everywhere that these people try to explore and look, they find who?
Us.
Okay. And soon as that thought hit my head, I thought, as above, so below. And how that may pertain more to, our genealogy and our existence than what we think.
Right.
So I mean, what would you say to that, brother? I mean, as far as that connection between, us really and not just by getting too deep, but
well, I mean,
a power that we have that people would, that people wouldn't.
No. Let's not. We're not gonna run from it. We're not gonna shy away from it. We're not gonna back away from it. I mean, look, our scriptures tell us that some super intelligent being decided to create us in its image and likeness, right?
Right.
And it decided that we were learning too fast. So it needed to knock us down a peg or two. So supposedly, from the stories that we've been told, is that from the third world and the fourth world, that's when man was being conceptualized and then sculpted. And then we were created here in the fourth world. Okay.
Okay.
So how long was it were we in the mind of our creators?
Right.
Before we actually materialized? You see? And it wasn't until the necessity, according to the Babylonian and Sumerian texts, the ancient Mayan texts and Atlantean texts, they say that we were created out of necessity. That this avatar was grafted and perfected out of necessity. So when we talk about being devils, right, the true meaning of that terminology means grafted men or grafted being. Okay.
Yeah.
So the black devil is the first devil. And this is why they would consider us to be the bright morning star, because we are the creation that came out of that formulation that
Mm.
was needed that was needed to mine the gold and all of the other materials that was needed for them to fix the issues that they had going on at in their star system. So
Now, were there people on this planet before that? Did they
say it
come here?
again.
Were there people on this planet at that time that were native to this planet Earth before that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what would be the separation between the two, if any?
The fact that the original people who are from here were mer people. They were as Cool Keith put it, uh half shark alligator, half man, half shark.
Now, is that what we see? Now, my people who saw in episode 1 of season 2 that I did, Angels or Aliens, you saw that I showed you the Anunnaki when they were showing you the fish gods.
Oh yeah, Dagon.
The men with the fish bodies, you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
right.
So you know, we right on track of what you're saying right there, because we see. So now this is upon their, now this is my point. Now upon their arrival and things like that, they're seeing this, you know, and that goes back
What
to what you said about the merman.
they talk about this also in Native American tradition and Native American astrology. What's funny is in Native American astrology, the lion and the cat are reversed.
Mm.
Yeah, the lion is or I should say the cat is in the month of Pisces, and the fish is in the month of Leo. They
Really?
are, it's the salmon and the cougar.
But yeah, brother, like I was saying, man, I've seen like in a lot of communities how, you know, they separate the most high or the higher power, the creator, whatever you want to call it, you know, from themselves so much. You know, it makes me wonder, how do they feel like they could even be in the presence of it, you know, in the end of all this, you know? But so to speak, what are your thoughts on that, brother? Like how separate, or how much do we separate ourselves from our creator? You know, to, because you know, a lot of people, they don't the thought of being equal to the creator, they don't sit well with them, you know. So what do you say to those opinions?
Well, I won't say you equal to the creator, you part and partial of the creator,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you part of its creation.
Mm-hmm.
Every human being and everything that's in existence is made of atomic energy. And that's the creator, because the creator is actually the non-functioning. The creation in and of itself just is.
Yeah.
And the consciousness that comes along with it comes along because the fact that the creator, or what is creating in and of itself, is moving through patterns. Everything is vibration. And for it to vibrate, that means that once it starts moving, it creates motion, it creates rhythm, it creates frequency, it creates a pattern. And patterns create shapes, and shapes create designs, and
Mm-hmm.
designs create function.
Right. Exactly,
You
man.
see?
That's my point. That's my point. With that infinite
And that alone
constant
is,
building, you know, with that building going on constantly, you know, how can, you know, should some, when I see somebody who I feel like is I don't know how to say this, but like some people I feel like can be a slave to their religion, like, you know, to where like
well,
everything has to
we're,
be what a book says. You limit your life by it. I don't feel like the creator would want you to limit yourself as much as you do as a human being. Not in the evil way, not to do evil things. What I'm saying as far as read more books, tap into other not theologies, but you know, cultures.
How about meditate more? How about love more? How about communicate more? You know what I'm saying? How about bond with other people more? You know what I'm saying? Especially now, because that's the whole reason why they created the technology, is to synthesize us.
Right.
Synthesizers.
Right.
And if you synthesize, I empathize. But if you want to synthesize, I empathize. But if you synthesize, I won't understand your synthesize of man.
Right. Right. For real, man. That's facts, man. I mean, it don't get no flavor than that, seriously, man. And it's like they separate, you know, we so separate from each other, you know, and this technology does do that to us too, man. Make it a lot easier to just text or just whatever it may be. You
Well,
know what I
look,
mean? But
I mean, not trying to be funny. Look, even the fact that our women walk around with fake hair, fake eyes, fake nails, they don't understand that's synthesization too.
Sure
You
is.
walking around, not trying to be funny, but you walking around looking like Ronald McDonald every day. You're not yourself.
Yep.
You are covering. You are, and this ain't. I'm not hating. It is what it
Not at
is.
all.
It's our culture. It's the society we live in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't live in the societies where, like the Egyptians, because if they did, then they would understand the phrase that old dirty bastard brought us. Have you ever in your long-legged life had a bald-headed bitch for your bald-headed wife? Because the Egyptian priestesses had bald heads, and they wore wigs with bald heads. They didn't wear braids under a wig.
Right.
They wore bald heads. They actually didn't have any hair on their bodies because they considered hair to be unclean, because hair allows germs to attach to the body.
Right. Talk to me.
And so the whole washing ceremony that we call wudu in Islam came from out of Egypt, because it was a ceremony that they did after they shaved themselves daily.
Right.
They would wash their body and then oil their body. And then they would go get massages and manicures, pedicures, and, oh yeah, they took good care of themselves. They didn't do the shit that we do. We walk around, we slave all day long. Our bodies hurt. We don't understand. Like their daily aspiration, they did yoga, they meditated, they did Tai Chi, and they got massages regularly. This was listen, this is for the everyday person.
Yeah.
Who could be working out in the field or sowing wheat or rye or rice.
Yeah.
Or whatever, And don't get it confused, because here's another seed that I need to drop, since we're talking about seeds. The majority, almost 80% of the vegetables that are in Africa and Asia came from, guess where?
Where?
North and South America.
Here we go. Here we go.
Look, we can do the legend and we can look it up.
Yes.
Your so-called African lion and cheetah and elephant don't originate from Africa.
Woo. That is a touchy subject here now, because I've been seeing on YouTube a lot of indigenous.
Look, your rhino
channels popping up everywhere, and they're going at the Kemetic community.
Your rhino, your hippopotamus, all that shit was originally from the Americas. Okay. Now it makes sense that it's all over there now, because when you talk about the story of Utnapishtim or of Noah, it would make sense if this was the land that was going underwater. that was in the deluge,
Yeah.
it makes sense. If this was the land that was under the deluge, and we know that this land goes under a deluge every so many thousands of years, because it does it as a repetitive cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's about to do it now.
Yeah,
We
because
not
your boy
we
Elon
not
Musk was digging some tunnels, man, and he found whale skeletons and shark skeletons and all that over in California and
Oh
Nevada.
yeah, listen, man, you're gonna have megalodons, you're gonna have woolly mammoths, you're gonna
All of
have,
it
like you
underwater at
said,
the time.
listen, because people don't even realize whales used to walk on all fours on land until they became water dwellers.
Ooh. Yeah, they are mammals, right?
Whales have hip bones.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're thinking of the structure, yeah.
And then how about this? For a whale to be so fucking big, he couldn't swallow. If he tried to swallow me or you, he'd choke to death.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's why they eat plankton.
Yeah, I was gonna say little ass
So
plankton.
the story of Jonah and the whale is a lie.
Mm.
Because can't no whale eat a human being.
It's true. It's true. Moby
A
Dick.
whale will fucking choke to death trying to swallow a baby.
You hearing it here, family. Just facts. Just facts.
Straight up. A
Mm.
whale will choke to death trying to swallow a baby.
But like you said, man, a lot of people, they don't do the research anyway, man. They just go to what they see it on their phone or seeing on the news or just whatever they hear that's fed to them through the feed, like you said. And if you think about that too, man, they the channel, you go to your channel to get the feed, man. It's wild how they put the words together or your program.
And let's think about it. What's a channel? A
Exactly.
channel is a byway of water. And
Mm-hmm.
what controls a channel? A lock.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. These words, man, when you really look into the words and the language, it ain't really as throwaway as you think, man. You can break down the English language, man, and unlock this shit for real. You
So
know what I
what's
mean?
so peep it out. What's the real Loch Ness monster?
Mm, that's a good question.
It's your ancient self
Mm.
that you've been running from.
You hear that, family? You hear that? Man. And that's why we're here. That's what we're here to get it back, man. And that's why we wanted to bring you back in the house, man. You know what I mean? Because we got some of the most views on the channel still to this day. We got to cheer round of applause for that. You know what I mean? And you just my brother, man. And I love you, man. You know how that goes, man. And always giving us the intense information. You know what I mean? And and you know how we do it on the each one teach one thing, man. You know what I mean? We don't play those games of and getting all ritualistic with it, family. We right here for you, you know what I mean? For those who really wanted and seeking it, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we brought the
Right.
brother in and his schedule been busy, you know what I mean? That's why, but we want to thank him for taking the time to sit down with us, man, and lay down the facts. I can't wait to see this and run this back, man. This was a good one, man. This was great, man.
Hey, well, listen, like I said, I just want to touch base one more time.
Yeah.
For everybody that has not done this, okay,
Mm-hmm.
nationalize yourself. If you're a man or a woman of color, okay,
Right, right.
do your ancestors that one good. Proclaim your nationality. You can go to any more science temple. There's a whole bunch of other indigenous tribes that you can go to proclaim your nationality.
That's right, family.
You
That's
want
right.
reparations? You listen, you want to repair what has been broken in your family's legacy? claim your nationality. Find out. I know your grandmamas, great grandmamas, and granddaddies and great granddaddies told you who y'all was. And most of y'all got Indian in y'all family.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Y'all all are Niji.
Mm-hmm. That's
And the
right.
Niji are the original indigenous people of the Americas, of the Atlan, of the
Mm.
Amexim. And we go farther back than that because our ancestors tell us that we come from the stars. And you know that's not a lie because where did you come from before you got into your mama's womb?
That's right. That's right.
And you have a star date, just like Captain Kirk.
Right. So what do you say also too, man, to I don't want to go into a whole thing because that's a whole nother topic, man, but just touch on it real quick, man, since we on what you're talking about right now. Do you believe that the slave trade was a conspiracy? Who came from Africa and who didn't, man?
All right.
Tell us tonight, man. Who came from Africa and who didn't, man?
First of all, simple science will teach you and let you know there's no way in hell that they brought you from another continent on some ships the way that the way they supposedly described having you chained down to the bottom of some ships and being brought over here for 3 months. No way in hell. No way in hell. They wouldn't have survived.
Right.
The people who were up top wouldn't have survived. You know why? Because biological pathogens, as we all know, because we are in the midst of what? The so-called COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And how did the COVID travel? Could you imagine having hundreds of people in a boat and they're urinating and defecating on themselves and others? First of all,
9,000 miles.
first of all, you want to talk about poison?
Yeah.
You want to talk about pathogens that kill? C. diff. That's all I got to say. And anybody that's a nurse know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All it takes is for one person in a situation like that to have it, and everybody is dead within 2 weeks.
Mm. Yeah, I feel that. I definitely see that, man.
And when I say dead, I don't mean a peaceful death. I'm talking about some painful, loathsome, very tumultuous shit, like you took like low doses of strychnine or cyanide. Okay. You talking about diarrhea, vomiting, fevers, flu-like symptoms.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And then you think that's gonna make it to shore? Them boats would have came to shore with everybody dead on them. They would have burned them ships. They would have burned them ships. Maybe that's the reason why there ain't no ships.
Maybe.
Because that's my other thing. You know, they took
where are
Debbie
the ships?
Allen. They had to get Debbie Allen to promote the Amistad.
Mm-hmm.
They had to make that like that was bigger than it was.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that there were not people who were not enslaved or captured and brought to the United States, because there are records. There were princes and princesses who were brought over to the shores of the Americas but they weren't brought over here in the bottom of no fucking ship.
Right.
Okay. And the
Right.
majority of people who were moved around in the United States, they were taken from one coast to the other. And it's proof of this.
Yeah, because
Okay.
if you look at a lot of records in the slave trade, you see mostly a lot of people coming from the Caribbean area. So I'm thinking, my question is like, okay, was the slavery mostly of them coming here and making it to the Caribbeans and then just snatching up them people?
No. The slave trade started with us and the Americas being shipped over into Europe and the Mediterranean.
Okay.
Because I ask this question all the time.
Yeah.
How is Bob Marley's grandmother Cherokee? And how is Riddick Bowe's grandmother Cherokee?
Yeah.
And if you look at Riddick Bowe, you see a Cherokee man. How did the Native Americans end up in Europe?
Right.
How did the Iroquois or the Iroquois, how did they end up in Europe? And they ended up getting over there before the French came over here.
Really?
See, we forget that they tell us that the Vikings came to the Americas.
Yes. Right. That was one of my shows, actually, man. That's one of the series I used to watch. Yeah. That's right.
And it was by way of them that the first Native Americans ended up in Europe.
Growing up in the Scandinavia and all that.
See, there's a guy, Karimio, Karamu Karimio. I hope I'm not saying his name wrong.
Yeah.
But the brother is Karimio. Karimio. He has been laying down, him and Dane Calloway have been laying down some very strong information and facts that support what Ivan Van Sertima and also Horace Butler have been laying down, you know, the fact that the like how imagine this. Imagine how silly these people seem looking for Bethlehem and Jerusalem in Africa when it's right here in Middle America and Mexico. So when you talk about the building of the New Jerusalem, and the building of the new Temple of Solomon,
right?
I mean, I mean, you know, like it's so
obvious,
much, so many.
Obvious is where we are now.
There's so many lies, man. There's so many lies out here right now.
Yeah, they're laying their propaganda.
And this is the thing. If you're not a smart cookie, you're just gonna get thrown out with the rest of the dough. Straight up. And it don't matter how much dough you have.
Sure don't.
Because you can do 1 million blood sacrifices and it ain't gonna get you shit but a sore ass and a broke wallet.
That's right.
That's right. Straight up.
Exactly.
If people ain't learned by now, if people have not learned by now, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's why
Like
you want to
Harold,
tap in with brothers like us that's giving you the truth, simple and plain. You know, we're bringing it to you, to be understood, man, and for the family, man, because a lot of these people are just out here just to get the view or just to get the clicks or whatever they call it, man, but we're here to give the real information and put it out here for you so how it should be. You know what I
man,
mean?
fuck the clicks, bro. Like fuck the clicks, bro. Like straight up, like I could have had hundreds of thousands of viewers and subscribers on different platforms. I'm not looking for that, man,
That's right.
because I'm gonna be honest with you. At the end of the day, like them, what the fuck are they gonna do for me when I got to answer to the Most High?
Exactly. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And the one thing about social media, my granddad used to say all the time. My granddad used to say, people spend more time trying to uh people spend more time in their life trying to impress people who don't care nothing about them.
Mm-hmm. That's right, man. That's
You
right.
know, and that's the
Uh-huh.
reason why, like in Psalms, King Solomon said that all this shit is vanity. It's all vanity.
Yep.
It's all vanity.
Mhm.
The bling, the shine, the Rolex, the big house, and we all want, we say we all want these things, right? These material things, right?
Make us comfortable.
Because because exactly. And in our minds, we've been taught this is status. This means that you making it in life, right? But what if it really ain't?
Yeah, what's the real achievements?
What if it really ain't? Because what if your big ass house don't mean shit to 7 generations behind you?
Mm-hmm.
What if all of your 82 cars, vintage cars, um $100,000, 200,000, $500,000 cars, that don't mean shit to the 7 generations behind you.
Right.
Because them cars ain't gonna mean nothing to them. You
Mm-mm.
don't even know if we're gonna have gas or diesel 7 generations from now.
For real. On some real shit. Yeah.
They may be in fucking mercury propulsion systems.
Hey, you already heard Joe Biden say he was gonna get rid of the fossil fuels.
Well, listen, they're going to do this anyway. I told you before in our last interview. It's we about to see the Flintstones meet the Jetsons. The shit that we thought we wasn't gonna see in our lifetime, we gonna see in our lifetime.
Yeah. The shit
That shit that you saw on The Fifth Element.
yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But they got your
Like
boy
look,
now,
look,
man.
look.
What you think
Like
about Elon? How you feeling about Elon, man, before we get out of here? These days,
look, bro.
whose side are you on, man? Whose side is he on, man?
He is one of the members of the Star Trek Enterprise. Okay,
Word.
the Galactic Federation is controlling this shit, and they're the ones who said 2 years ago. We talked about this about 3-4 years back when I
Uh-huh.
was telling you that the Galactic Federation was getting ready to
Yep.
quarantine the planet,
Yep.
and that what we think here, this is just some COVID shit, but think about it. They call it COVID, the corona. What is a corona? The corona is the aura of a sun.
Mm.
It's the energy that's being flung off of a sun.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what's the corona of your aura? Is how big you can make your soul.
Right.
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 And if you can expand your soul through a multidimensional expansion, that means you're not limited to a 33 dimension 3D reality and third dimensional reality. That means that you're not just a little star.
Right.
You a particle. You what you calling the soul is uncountable ether particles. Just like when you look at a sun and you see a massive sun the size of Betelgeuse. You see suns like our sun give off like it's ether particles.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Right.
And that's the change of what's taking place right now.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you are prepared, like they said, to receive this Christ consciousness, like a bride prepared for a groom for her husband.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, we can make the Bible very plain, because the Bible is talking about your universe. It's talking about you. It's talking about you from an esoteric, exoteric, metaphysical, and astrotheological perspective. Not to mention, it's a Masonic design.
That's right. See, and a lot of people, they don't want to tap into that. They want to just follow what they feel like God's orders are. You know what I mean?
Well, see, listen,
they get trapped in that matrix of life.
All of these people that are following the false doctrine, okay, this is what they meant by the false teachings, the false prophet, the false prophecy, the Antichrist, the synagogues of Satan. Mm-hmm. These are the people that are misleading the masses. They're not going to tell you that Genesis came from they're not going to tell you that Genesis actually came from, in the Hebrew, is actually in the Hebrew is actually hold on. My mind just it means to basically it's a reconstruction.
Oh.
It's not Genesis.
Really?
It's a reconstruction.
Ah.
The Bereshith reconstruction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So
that's what it is.
So this ain't even what would you say to somebody who would say, well, Genesis is that the Bible itself, or even especially Genesis, would just be the genealogy of the Caucasians?
Well, I would agree. Because it's definitely.
Does it have anything to do with the black and the brown and the red, yellow seeds? That story specifically.
Only in the fact that we seeded them. That's
it. Would you agree or disagree? We got to get this one, man. I don't want to hold you for too much longer, man, but we getting good. Would you agree or disagree, so to speak? Is Ham the father of the black man? I'm saying the black man was here before Ham, so how can Ham be the father of the black man?
All right, so
break it down for us. There's no lineage, man, because it's like it's a real big dispute.
So we talking about linguistics, right?
I'm saying it's the white man.
And so Ham and Hameth came from out of Kim, all right, and Cam.
Right.
All right. And without that, there is no Hamite. There is no Hamite without the Camite.
Right.
Or the Kimite. Right.
Now, was this a man from Mesopotamia or a man from Africa? Or a lineage, so to speak?
Well,
but that's what they want to dispute over. They want to make it a Mesopotamian Sumer type thing.
Okay, but biblically, they call it Mesopotamia. But see, the thing is that just because you think was Mesopotamia is only in the east, don't mean that that's the only Mesopotamia. Because what do we call Central America? It's called Mesoamerica. Mesopota.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And you see it everywhere. I mean, everywhere you go, anywhere you go all over America, you cross over. Everybody done been to a city that's named another city where you've been before.
Well, you know, one of the things
You know what I mean?
like, okay, when you
recycle the names.
So a state like Ohio, right? Why is it that Ohio has counties and cities named after every capital city that exists in the world? There's an Alexandria, Ohio. That's the capital of Greece.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Medina, Mecca.
There's a Medina and there's a Mecca. Canton. There's a Canton. There's an Ekron or an Akron.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
There's a
Toledo. I don't know what. Toledo. I know Toledo used to be something, didn't it, with the Greeks or something?
Spain.
Spain. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Why are they using these names? What's so specific to where, everyone had to look into the founding fathers of these territories?
Well, you gotta also ask yourself, why does Ohio have the most presidents in America from any other state? And then how come they all died so tragically?
Right. Birthplace of aviation.
Even though they try to give it to North Carolina, Ohio is really the birthplace of aviation. Why is Ohio the birthplace of aviation and is also called the heart of it all? Not the heart of the Midwest. It's not the heart of the Midwest. It's not the heart of the Mississippi. It's not the heart of it's the heart of it all. It's not a heart of America. It's the heart of it all.
Right.
There's a secret in America. There's a secret in Ohio, just like there's a secret in the Mississippi River, and there's a secret in the Gulf of Mexico. There's a secret in the Amazon.
And you know what? That brings up a good question, man, because I see a lot of, but we know that in Africa, they take the story of coming from the South and the Great Lakes, and then down the Blue Nile and then all that, But then you also see, like how you were saying about Ohio and places in that area, is still also a Great Lakes region, some of the largest lakes, like Lake Michigan, and these are huge ecosystems, you know what I mean? That exist over here. I know Lake Erie, they said it has one of the largest, most diverse ecosystems on the planet.
Oh yeah.
And things like that. So it's like
all the way down to Florida.
Just in human nature alone, you would think that anyone with consciousness, you would migrate to that area, and that's where your existence would probably start, somewhere in the Great Lakes area or region,
How about this? How about the Washita tribe from out of New Orleans, out of Louisiana, the Empress Verdice Gaston Turner Gaston Bay. They came up with documents that prove that the oldest living people on the earth are from, guess where?
Where?
Louisiana. And this is recognized by the UN. This is recognized by the UN. They could have easily said that these people, the oldest people in the world, are from the Congo. They could have easily said the oldest people in the world are from Zaire or Zimbabwe,
Right. Right.
okay, or from Egypt.
Right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
There's something they don't want us to know in the Americas, period.
That's right. That's right.
Period, point blank. And this is the reason why everybody has been coming to the Americas for how long? How long, Pippi? How long have they been migrating to the Americas?
No, that's right.
I
You're right.
mean, you know.
Forever. You're right. So that makes you think, man. It's like, do you, that bring my next question. Do you, how do you feel, so to speak, about the theory about Pangea? Do you feel like it was all together at once? That's when everyone was created, when
Oh
the
yeah. I mean, well, see,
continents
look,
were
here's
combined? Or do you feel, because I feel like in a way, if we're saying Pangea existed at the time when when human beings were created in the beginning, so to speak, well, then there technically wasn't no such thing as a Congo or a North
nothing that,
America,
none of
because
that,
it was all
none of
together.
that. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
really, how can you say where the first man was made? You could be on either side because it was one land.
Well, here's the thing. The other side of that is how you so sure it was Africa? Because it's a whole lot of other land masses that ain't part of that Pangea no more.
Yes, right. Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm
Underwater, a
saying?
bunch. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly, exactly. And they've seen whole civilizations underwater.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That's my point too. That's my point too.
found they found
If there was a Pangea, it's still connected. It's just underwater, some of it, so to speak. If we all dried up, would it all be in some? Well, we know erosion and all that, but you know,
right.
you
But
would probably see some type of trails and certain shit that would connect lands to each other that we didn't see.
well, look, that's like this. That's like scientists know what's underwater causing the Bermuda Triangle and the Devil's Triangle is pyramids
Mm,
causing these anomalies. Okay,
yeah,
and basically these are space bridges or vortexes, doorways that have been active since the days of Atlantis,
mm,
and they don't want to talk about them. But there's a bunch of them. It's
yeah,
more than just them. There's a bunch of them on the planet. They all move in alignment. They see there's an alignment around the equator of all of these things.
yeah, right,
And then there's another alignment just above that, which is about the 40-degree marker. Okay, 40-degree
mhm,
parallel, both north and south. That's why they keep showing you shit like 32 degrees, 23 degrees, 44 degrees. That's why you
right.
always see those numbers in sports and shit like that.
Yeah, what's the importance of like the Tropic of
Because
Cancer and the Tropic of
they know they
Capricorn?
know that they know our consciousness shifts at these points on the planet.
Ah, because you
You
see
know,
most of the
going
monuments are
north,
on these
right,
things,
exactly,
these lines.
right, going north, south, east, or west. Your
Right,
consciousness, you hit these certain meridian points or major transitional meridian points, latitude, longitude, where the ley lines cross. They know
exactly.
that they know that they know that your energy got to switch. They know it's got to raise. They know it's got to elevate. They know that you go through changes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole reason why the Mason says I'm a traveling man, because
Right,
his whole thing is to follow the sun and to follow the path of the sun in his life, in his personal thumbprint, which is his astrological plot.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the plot on his life is to know his sidereal or spiritual ascension.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
right.
once he's able to find his spiritual ascension, then he will follow the North Star or his North Node to his goal in life.
Yes. That's right. Man, you broke that down right there, brother. Man, and speaking of the sun, man, I'm actually next week, I got a video premiering that's coming out about the Lunar's theory. Okay. And I
The
just want to
spaceship.
touch base with you since we might not be able to speak on at that time. I just want to get your thoughts real quick about this, man. Okay. Now, everywhere we look, we in the past and even today, we see the crescent moon, the crescent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it says related to the cow horns, but let's stick to the crescent moon. Okay, the phases of the moon. Okay, and how belief systems and things were set up behind these phases. Okay, now my question to you is this: how powerful are these, I like to call them optical illusions?
Mm-hmm.
How powerful are these optical illusions that the moon makes due to this sun's reflection? All right. We know
Right.
the moon doesn't actually change into these things. This is the sun's projection creating an optical illusion, is what I'm saying. How do you feel about belief systems behind the optics, so to speak, of the moon? And are they real? Because if you're looking through a telescope or through an aspect, maybe through a different observation, you might not see these same optics.
Well, how about if you use a crystal with a magnetic amplifier and point it at the moon, you'll see that it's a space station. Period, point
So,
blank.
and you know, I've been hearing that. I've been on that vibe for a long time myself too, man. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
so that's my point, man. That's my point about this, man. And the reason why I have a video coming out about this, man. And it's really about like, what is this whole lunar thing, man? And the whole thing behind it, and the whole mastery that it has over this planet and us, when most of it's an optical illusion, when its phases are an optical illusion,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and things of that nature. I mean, like, what really, you know, and there's a lot of belief systems that are strongly, you know, based on these, like, you know, Ramadan and things. People are dedicating their lives to this calendar.
Well, the moon has power in the sense that it does conduct a high level of electromagnetic uh, charge
Okay.
as far as helping the planet to maintain balance, right? It was moved into position to do that, to actually hope to hold the frequency once the planet Maldek was destroyed. Okay. That's
So it does
why the
hold a
moon.
charge.
Yeah. So imagine, if you will, like, right, how they took and they changed the frequency of um the organic frequency of A from 432 hertz, and then they shifted it to 440 hertz, right?
Right.
Okay. So in a sense, that's what they did with the moon.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
All
Right.
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 They put the moon in place because Maldek was destroyed, right? Once Maldek got destroyed, it threw the harmonic frequency of the inner solar system
Yeah.
off whack. So they had to put the moon there, like, as a step up, uh, or as a balancing chord or tone
Oh no, I get
frequency
exactly what you're saying.
to
Right,
keep
like when you're hooking up
the
electrics, like in electrical shit.
right, right, to keep the rest of the planets, the inner planets in harmony.
To keep the current going, they
Right,
had to pretty much re-bridge it or whatever with something
right,
synthesizer.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Synthesize it. Exactly. They had to synthesize it. Exactly. So, uh, and the moon is a space station. It's a big, huge space station. There are so many different levels inside of the moon, and there are so many different beings inside of the moon.
like the Death Star.
Well, I was getting ready to actually go there. I was literally getting ready to say, like the Death Star, if you would.
That's what I always thought it looked like when I saw it. You know, be like, oh,
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Well, if you think about it, I mean, that's very much where George Lucas got his framework. I mean, he
It's
didn't
like
do
a
shit
dead
but
star. It looks like it's just sand up there. I mean, so the
right.
moon, you would think, you know.
Yeah. Well, not a dead. It wouldn't be a dead star; it'd be a dead planet.
Planet.
But
Okay, right.
right. But because you know, technically Jupiter is a star that didn't ignite.
Now I heard that. Yeah, I heard that about the Jupiter could actually been a sun. We could have had two
Yeah.
suns in the solar.
It was because most star systems are binary or trinary
Right. Yeah.
systems.
Right. You're
You
right.
know, when you look at Sirius, when you look at Leo or Regulus, you know, look at the Pleiades, look at
Right.
Arcturus. Like you know, you got several different. You know, you got
Right.
multiple star systems within star systems
Right.
within those constellations. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And
So
do you think that's where the argument would come in about monotheistic and polytheistic, to where it was like worshiping more, coming from places with more suns, and Akhenaten pretty much trying to say, well, this is the only sun, the glorified son
no,
of the
no.
universe.
See, people mistake what Akhenaten was talking about. First of all, he wasn't talking about a sun. He was talking about the source.
Of these
That's what,
suns.
not of the suns, the source. Period.
Mm.
See, the suns would have been the hands reaching out from out of the Aten disk. The
Right.
Aten represents the source, and all of the hands stretching out represents the multiplicity of factors. So he didn't actually destroy all the old gods. He put them all back into perspective.
Union, you be unified.
You see,
Yeah.
because it's no different than when you see a line of 12 people and then they all doing this, right?
Right.
When you look at them all standing in alignment, it looked like a bunch of arms doing this. It don't look like one person. It don't look like 12 people. It looked like one person with a bunch of arms doing like this.
Right.
That was the perspective of the Aten. You see, because they were worshiping, they were giving reverence to this aspect of the Most High and that aspect of the Most High, when really, if it's the Most High, then the Most High is
all of
giving all of these. Exactly. It's all of the above. It's D is all of the above.
That's right. That's right, man. Hey, brother, I want to thank you again, man. I don't want to hold you up for much longer. I appreciate you for tapping in with us, man. You know how you already know how it goes, brother. Powerful information every time, man. And I know they're gonna love this, man. For real. They've been waiting for it, asking for you to come back, you know, and I just want to say peace to you, brother, and thanks for tapping in with us, man.
No problem, man. You know, it's no big deal. You know, you can find me at 1080_World_Smith on Instagram. And you can find me at on Facebook. On Facebook, you can find me at as Jawan Eagle Bear Gibbs L.
Yes, sir, man. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with the brother, man. Always powerful information, you know, and always bringing the truth, man. You know, no filter, always doing it, bro. I just want to thank you again, man. You know how it goes, man. All love to you and the fam and all that.
Hey, man.
You keep working, doing the damn thing. You know how that goes.
Hey, listen. And also, I just wanted to add, if there's anybody who is looking to learn Reiki,
Yes.
I'm a Reiki master. I certify people from first level all the way up to the third level. I have some very, very powerful students. You know, I be feeling like I'm like Professor X with the way that people come to me. Seriously, man, like, you know, the way that people be coming to me and um, you know, I'm starting to realize like the gift that you have as a Reiki master is very much like being in touch with a cerebral of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there are a lot of people within my cipher who, no matter how far away they are, I find that things will be going on and I'll be in touch with that. And when I communicate with them, everything that we're able to bond on is just like that.
Right.
Is word bond, you know.
Right.
It's really awesome to know that we can have experiences where we all can have similar um, experiences within an experience, you know,
Yeah.
and we can all interconnect, you know.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's definitely.
Hey, basically, remember back in the day when we used to do this?
Hell yeah.
and keep it going
The
and keep
whole
it going.
lie.
You know what I'm saying? That's what
Right.
Reiki is that's what Reiki has given me the ability to do. Look, I've done
Yeah.
sessions with people way as far as like Australia,
Mm-hmm.
the UK, you know,
Yeah.
and I do sessions with them and people are like, wow, it's like you're sitting right here with me.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let them know that you available to even what on Zoom or anything to even do lessons over
Yeah.
online.
So yeah, so you know, my class is not, I don't do a whole bunch of hoopla and stuff, you know. I send you the manual, we get on a video call, and I deal with each student one-on-one. You know, I don't do classes like that. I deal with each student individually.
Yeah, that's nice and that's needed. That's well needed, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. But
because it's a
again,
different.
man, y'all make sure y'all tap in with the brother. It's all love, man. Once again, iGod TV. We love y'all.
Yeah,
Peace.
I appreciate it.
Yes,
One
sir.
love,
Love you, brother.
true peace.